already waiting for you. Let me put it that way. Everybody that you need on your journey, they're already waiting for you. But what would happen is that I always say that when it gives those ideas, it just doesn't give it to you alone. It gives it to a few people. It's only the people who would run with it. Because some people would start it, but things happen along the way. They'll probably not be able to continue. Whereas some people would start it and they would continue. When I started PTB, I saw, what was it, about 2 years later, I saw some other people actually name it PTB, call it PTB, exactly the same thing. Some have not continued, but I'm grateful for the support of the women that are here. Honestly, they hold my hands. The ones that pray every Sunday, I am grateful for you. Every Sunday, consistently, every Sunday, whatever it is, even when England was playing, we still came online to pray for women. So thank you so much. And today's topic, actually, I just wanted to give a background, and I'm so grateful that you messaged me, because I've in this course of this journey, I've seen a lot of women, and even women that you would think they are extroverts, but not everyone has that confidence. Honestly speaking, not everyone has confidence. Sometimes we start with confidence, but the issues of life sometimes rob us of that confidence that we have or that we used to possess. The issues of life, and sometimes these issues of life can come at any time. It can be health, it can be marriage, it can be friendship, it can be anything, it can be bereavement. So tonight we have somebody who is ready to talk to us about you know how we can embrace authenticity and confidence. This is the time that you want to invite somebody else. I'm reading her profile tonight. Mumi is a dedicated trainer, and if you know her, she has been here before. She is a coach, she is a mentor with a proven track record of helping individuals achieve their personal and professional goals, and has worked with diverse clients ranging from career professionals to students. She holds certifications in education management and master's degree in manpower training and development and coaching psychology. Umi empowers individuals, especially women, to express themselves authentically for professional and personal excellence. Additionally, she works with organizations to create a diverse work culture where employees can bring their authentic selves to work while achieving their organizational goals. And I'm going to put a link in the platform. If you don't receive from us, you would like to receive just for the purpose of PTB for future events, kindly fill the form in. And I'm just going to encourage you that wherever you go, be yourself. It does help a lot. There's no point at all being a different person at work, a different person at home. In fact, it's so confusing. Wherever you are, just be authentic self. I'm not a speaker. When they say I'm not the birthday girl, somebody's the birthday girl. So I'm not the speaker, she is the speaker. So I'm just going to leave her to just go on. Thank you so much, sis. We appreciate you. And we say thank you for coming to pass the baton. You are muted. You're muted. If you can hear me, you're muted.
Yes, can you hear me now?
You can now. Thank you.
Yes. So, good evening, ladies, and thank you so much, Mrs. Gumi, for having me today. I'm grateful and I'm honored to be here. So, yes, the introductions, it's been done already, and my name is Gumi, like she rightly said, and today I am happy and I'm so excited to be talking about this topic because these two topics are passionate to me. When you talk about authenticity and confidence, they are quite passionate to me and I love to talk about them. So, yes, today we'll be discussing, we'll be having a discussion on these two crucial topics. So, please feel free to engage, use the comments section, the chat box, use the emoji and engage. Okay. So, yes, so let's dive into today's discussion. So I remember one time like that when because I sing, I used to be in the choir, though I'm no longer in the choir for now, but I've always been in the choir since I was a child. So So then about I was back home in Nigeria. And so I walked into church that day. I think we're supposed to have a choir rehearsal. And I wasn't sure because my church is one of the, popular churches in Lagos. And I walked in and I didn't know which of the building will be rehearsing. So I was just like, okay, I was trying to find my choir group. And then I walked to one of the buildings and I saw one lady I recognized. And then I said, oh, are we actually meeting here? She said, yes, we're meeting here. So I thanked her. At this point, I wasn't sure. So it wasn't like I was just 100% sure of myself. I didn't know what group I was going to, I was maybe batching into their meeting or something. So she told me that, okay, this is actually where we're meeting. So I found my way and I thanked her. So at that point, I was still kind of doing some auditioning with the choir to join them fully. So along the line, eventually they said, okay, I they weren't going to admit me as a member of the choir initially, but they had some discussion and then they decided to take me in. I was like, okay. And so this same lady, she was the one that told me that, that disclosed that information to me. And then she came to me and then she said, you know what? Just calm down. You need to tone it down. You need to tone it down. And I looked at her. I said, tone it down. How? She said, you need to tone it down. And I said, I was trying to just to understand where she was coming from. Like, what do I need to tone down? I didn't quite understand what she meant by that. So this is just like a story to show that sometimes, we might come across as, sometimes being too much. We might come across as, oh, who does she think she is? Sometimes people might actually misunderstand us. For me, I am someone people misunderstand a lot. When you get close to me, then you know that I am a very laid back, not like laid back. I am down to earth. That's what I intend to use. I'm down to earth. I am playful. I am very friendly, but I mind my business a lot. I do mind my business a lot. I remember when I was growing up then I was in Ibadan. Not I didn't grow up in Ibadan, but along the way I found myself in Ibadan after when I was in the university. And I would go to church. I stopped going to my mom's church, right? Because my mom is a minister. And then she would always complain, oh, you're wearing this dress, your makeup is like this. I was just tired. I was like, so I decided to start going to another parish aside from my mom's parish. So this parish I go to, once they close, once we share the grace in fellowship, I just carry my bag and I just leave. I don't talk to anybody. I don't greet. I don't do anything. I don't even have time for that. So there's this lady that, she saw me. She's like, one day she called me. She's like, you this girl, because she's quite older than myself. And then she said, you this girl, you don't talk to anybody, you don't do this, you don't do that. Eventually we became very close that I go to her house. She invites me to her house sometimes, during the week, after Sunday, she cooks for me. We became so close. But on a normal day, when people see me, they're like, oh, maybe she's full of herself or something. So sometimes we might come across as that, yeah, to people. And I'll start, um, aside from my story, maybe it's too long or short, I'll start by defining what authenticity is. So in my research, I did my MSc research on this topic just to show you how very passionate I am about the topic. And how I define authenticity. I define authenticity as freedom and courage. As freedom and courage. Because when you're authentic, you are free to be yourself without judgment, without being afraid. How are people going to perceive me? You are free to be yourself. And courage to be the one standing alone, even if you are the only one standing. Because in this world that we live in today, it's easier to conform. It's the easiest way out to conform and say, okay, I want to be like the other guys. I want to feel among. It's the easiest thing to be or to do. But when you're authentic, you are unafraid to stand alone, even if you are the only one standing. Even if you are the only one standing. And on the other hand, I would define, not me this time around, the dictionary, Cambridge Dictionary defines confidence as the quality of being certain of your abilities, having that firm trust in your skills, your qualities, and your judgments. So the question then, well, and that is the reason why I shared some of my stories. The question then is authenticity, is it an excuse for bad behavior? Is it an excuse for bad behavior? Because a lot of times we hear people say, oh, this is me, and that's just the way I am. Is it an excuse for bad behavior? I would like to just hear your to get your insights on this question. Is it an excuse for bad behavior? You can share in the comments. Is it an excuse for bad behavior?
If you'd like to speak as well, please kindly just put your hands up.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, please.
I
Okay. I just want to add when you said you can speak, people are not authentic for so many reasons.
yeah
One, it could be due to the fact that they've experienced childhood experiences. They come
yeah
from a home where you are, especially women, where you are asked to keep quiet. Some may have faced abuse. Some may have faced a lot of things. So people do hide. People hide a lot. And so their real self are not actually out. So some people can lack due to what they've gone through. Maybe you've lost your mom at the age of 2. Due to what they've
yeah
gone through, they have been living by different coping mechanisms by hiding.
yeah
So they've exiled everything they feel. So sometimes they are people pleaser. Some of them are people pleaser, and some of them are not able to show because of stigma. Some of them might be hiding some things and they do not want to know. Some of them might be jealous because somebody is whatever, and they are, all those things are factors that can let people not be real. Because to me, authenticity means you are real. You are not hiding anything. You are yourself. You are not
yeah
hiding who you are. You understand? You are not
yeah
afraid of what people will say, but that is who you are. It's about
yeah
having a kind of self-awareness about who you are. It's good
yeah
to embrace our strength. It's good to embrace our weaknesses. When you start embracing that, then you can be authentic. So you are not hiding anymore. That's who you are. We are all work in progress. So,
yeah
and one of the things is that when you're authentic, there is a kind of that links to self-discovery. You're able to discover yourself. You are able to discover who you are. And then you can
yeah
now work at what you need to improve. So it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to have gone through shit when you are young or whatever. It's okay to, but at the end of the day, when you're authentic, that leads to freedom. And forgiveness is part
absolutely
of it as well. Thank you.
yeah Yes,
Okay.
so thank you for sharing. I absolutely agree with everything that you've said so far, because that is even another topic on its own when we talk about childhood experiences, because I am a psychologist. So when we talk about childhood experiences and the background, the childhood memories, it actually influences, the confidence of people, their self-confidence, and they believe in themselves. But it's a topic for another day. So the reason I came up with this question is authenticity and excuse for bad behavior. It's because there was this forum I was a part of, and we're talking about different topics. And I brought up this topic of authenticity because it's what I always like to talk about, right? And then a lady said, "Is it an excuse for bad behavior?" I said, "Yeah." It actually struck a chord with me, and I said, "No, it's not an excuse for bad behavior." And like you rightly said, um, it's about expressing ourselves. Yeah, expressing ourselves. It's about being grounded in ourselves, being aware of ourselves, being ourselves, but at the same time respecting other people. Because people sometimes assert their authenticity as a justification for their actions, irrespective of what the action is. It's causing, other people claim, like I said, claiming that, oh, this is me, you have to accept me for who I am. But that is not authenticity. Authenticity is not, it's not going to absolve you of or from taking responsibility from your negative behavior or refusing to acknowledge your mistakes. So I would like to clarify some misconceptions about authenticity or what authenticity is not. Authenticity is not checking accountability. You have to take accountability for your actions. Authenticity is not being arrogant. It's not being arrogant and, disregarding other people. True authenticity is recognizing our flaws and working on them. Yes, you will not be 100% perfect. No one is 100% perfect. But it's recognizing your flaws, taking accountability, taking ownership, and working on them. Working on them. That is what authenticity is. And this brings me to what authenticity is. Authenticity is expressing our ideal self. Our ideal self. So what is your ideal self? Your ideal self is that person that you aspire to be. And this is why when I talk about comparison, that you should never compare yourself to other people, because comparison is a thief of joy. Never compare yourself with other people. Who you should always compare yourself with is your ideal self. Your ideal self. So that is what authenticity is, expressing your ideal self. And also is about speaking your truth. Because a lot of times people are afraid to speak the truth. Have you ever found yourself in a meeting whereby you're talking about some things that people disagree with, and no one is willing to say it out, even though they strongly agree with that, but they're not willing because they feel like, oh, if I say something now, I might be the odd one out saying that thing, or people might just see me in some sort of way. But the moment one person, raises their hands and say, oh, okay, this is it, then you see people like, agreeing to what that person has said. But that there has to be that first person. There has to be that first person. So I'm just reading the comments. It's Titi to everyone. It says it's not because we should be willing to unlearn. Sorry, we should be willing to unlearn and relearn. I totally agree with that. So authenticity is definitely not an excuse for bad behavior. That's me, Ajayi. Respect to others, me taking accountability, not being arrogant, recognize flaws and work on it. Yeah, we just said that now. Yeah, so please engage and share your thoughts in the comment section. So yes, it's speaking your truth. That is what authenticity is, speaking your truth, irrespective of the fact that you are the only one speaking the truth. And being self-aware. being self-aware, because there are two sides of self-awareness, or there are two types of self-awareness. We have the internal self-awareness and the external self-awareness. So the internal self-awareness is what we already know about ourselves. We are aware of our flaws, our strengths, our development points. However, the external self-awareness is how other people see us. And that is also very important. It is critical, actually, because there's what is called blind spots. Blind spot means you're blind to it. You don't know those things about yourself until you ask someone who is close to you. I remember one time I went to I was still, I was in finance then. I went to my manager and I said, I want, please tell me about me. What do you think about me? Tell me my strengths, my weaknesses, and everything. And then she talked about my strengths, which I totally agree with. I also agree with the development points, but it was a learning experience for me. She mentioned one profound thing. She said that um you are this, although you do not intend to come across that way, although you do not mean it. And this is why external self-awareness is important. Because sometimes when we communicate or through our actions, our behaviors, it's not just about what our intentions are, but how do other people perceive it. Sometimes there could be miscommunication somewhere. They might perceive it in a negative light. And we might not know that we are coming across in such a way to them. So, like I said, it's not just being self-aware, but being internally and externally self-aware. True authenticity is having the courage to be yourself. I've said that already. Having the courage to be yourself, especially in the workplace. Believe me, in this age, and in this time, and not just even not just in the workplace, in the society at large that we live in, people just they just copy. People want to move with the flow. It's very hard to find originality because it's easier. And like I said, in my research, when we talk about because I talked about conformity also and authenticity. When you conform, people say they conform because it's just the easiest thing to do, because they are made to, like, there's this mold that they are expected to fit into. And there's this societal mold that people expect us to fit into. And unfortunately, a lot of people are fitting into that mold because it's easy for them, because they want to feel among. And that is where confidence comes into play. If you are confident of who you are, your qualities, your abilities, you wouldn't have the need to want to fit into any mold or to conform. And authenticity, it requires self-improvements, not using your flaws as an excuse. Nobody was made in such a way that, oh, I was made that way. Nobody was. You should take ownership of your actions and, challenge yourself to improve and to grow. Because anyone can change if they want to change. I usually say this: anyone can change if they want to change, if it's their goal to change. Yes. But may you raise your hand? Yeah. if it's their goal to change, they can change. Yes, please.
I just don't want us to lose track of a question that came in. And
Okay.
that question is just literally like what you're talking about just now. And with this
Yeah.
question, please, anyone can answer. It doesn't have to be a speaker, just for engagement.
Waiting for.
I'm just muting people. Okay.
Okay.
And the question is, how do you balance speaking your truth or our truth for political correctness? And anybody can answer. So how do you balance our truth for political correctness? Because she just
So,
touched on it, but anyone can answer. Yeah.
so what do you mean by our truth?
Dr.
Or do you
Umi,
mean to say your
to
truth?
hear just a bit. I think it's your truth she's trying to say. But when she says our, I think it's generic as women. How do you balance your truth or our truth as a woman with
Yes, yeah,
correctness?
because you mentioned that
Can I say something about that,
authenticity is
Pastor Bumi?
about speaking our truth.
Okay. Yes, please, Princess, go on.
Yes, I was just going to say that thank you, speaker. Thank you for this program. It's really amazing. I was just going to say, when you speak your truth in love, I think that is the only way we can balance things. We have to speak it in love, not to jeopardize anything, but be truthful, but say it in love, because that's what Jesus would do. So yeah, that's my
Hello, please, can you say the question again, if you don't mind?
It says, how do you balance speaking your truth with political correctness?
What happened is that there is no way you can in a are you talking in a workplace or within a home environment?
Okay, let's Dr. Umi, do you want to clarify that question?
Especially in the
Princess
workplace.
has
I'm just
answered it.
thinking of the
Yes,
environment. Sorry.
how do
Yeah,
is it in the
especially in
workplace,
the
so that I know
workplace.
exactly what to say? That's why
Yeah, because
or in the
it's
home.
easier
But
with
one thing I want
like-minded
to be
Sorry,
very
people.
I think we're having overlapping. Can the question, so Dr. Umi is speaking about the question. Let her clarify the question first.
okay.
Yeah, so I'm saying that when you are with like-minded people, it's easier because you see things the same way. But what she said, yeah, especially in the workplace where you have, and in this environment, we know there are all sorts of very sensitive topics within the society. That means that it makes it hard for you to actually speak your truth about what you believe in things. And I like what the first speaker said about speaking it in law, which is good, but there are still some topics that are so sensitive that people don't understand speaking in love as we do as Christians. So I just feel that it's something that we should discuss basically.
Yes, okay, let me leave it to the floor.
Auntie Grace, do you want to answer now?
Yes, okay. What I'll say depends on where you are, but one thing is about authenticity, is about also the truth. Me, that's very key. And if you are in a workplace, there is no way a leader or team members, the leader has to actually promote a culture of where everybody feel real. Because if you don't promote where you are encouraged, that is promoting what I'll call psychological safe place, where you can be yourself. There is no way you want to be yourself. Part of it is you start hiding, like I said, and you are not even speaking. You can be emotionally muted as well, not actually speaking, or you can withdrawn. So lack of that authenticity sometimes, when an environment is not promoting a culture of trust, then the person tends to be hiding, and people are not actually open to themselves. They are not being, they don't want to be real to themselves. So it's actually one of the things we have to, and as a Christian in a workplace, we have to manifest that we are Christian. It's not like we are preaching to anybody. Your conduct, how does your conduct what culture are you promoting in a workplace? And that's where you understand. And you apply wisdom. Wisdom does not mean you hide from the truth. But at the end of the day, even when you're authentic, it doesn't mean you cannot show respect. It doesn't mean you cannot show value, respect other people, value other people, value contribution, and show a bit of gratitude, celebrate little wins. All those things, when you do that, all those things will enable anybody to be real. And one of the things is that when you are truthful, you are free, and it also helps your well-being. You have when you are authentic, you have a sense of belonging, where you can be yourself, you can be real. So all of them are quite interwoven. So it's not about pretending to be who you are not. You have to be who you are. And one thing is that it's okay to say, you know what, I don't know this. It's okay to say, this is who I am. And everybody is learning. We are on learning. And one of the things is that being authentic is about your self-discovery, where you have to self-awareness, where you have to correct yourself. And I don't think it has to do with any political correctness in this case. It's just about you being real in anywhere you are. And one of the things is that if you're a team member, if the leader actually cultivates in the workplace, cultivates, or a husband or a parent in a home or in a church, and the leader cultivates what I call a culture of trust, where everybody can be real without being judgmental. You'll not be told off, and be yourself. So, and when you feel psychologically safe in any environment, you'll be authentic, you'll be real. When you know that people are not going to talk against you, people are not going to be judgmental, you have that autonomy as an individual, and you have value irrespective of who you are. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to share through life based on this. So at the workplace, everybody knows I'm a Christian, I talk, and to be honest with you, I am who I am, but I show a lot of love and respect also for other people's religion. Everybody knows that. So when I joined the diversity and inclusion team years ago, I made them know this is who I am. This is my religion, but I would respect other people's religion. So when it was time for is it LGBT, I just had to tell them, my religion would not allow me to participate. I respect them, I love them, but I'm unable to. That's me. It's who I am. Because I told them from the beginning, it's all about showing love, it's all about showing respect, and it's all about being yourself at all times, so that time, even another time, then they know, oh, this is who Bimi is. And already people know who I am, people know my values, and they know where I stand. So I feel that it may not be this, but whatever the case is, that we are still real to ourselves, that even before people come to you, you understand, they know the values that you possess. But it's important that we show them love at all times. It's important that we are actually, like, really truly, like Princess said, loving on people. There's nobody that you cannot correct. Even within my team, I am a go-to person, but I have to be firm when the time comes for me to be firm, because it's a organization, and I need to sometimes correct people. I need to sometimes tell people, oh, I don't like the way you've done this. I am firm but yet loving. So I feel that's, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, thank you all for your contribution. And to add to that, I would say that, you know, someone asked me a question one time and said, has there been any time that you have not been authentic? And I said, no, but I have been diplomatic. So it's about diplomacy, being diplomatic, how you say the truth, and the situation, you at least reading the room, knowing what to say, saying what you need to say at the right time, and also not saying it because you have to respect other people's, views and perspectives as well. But is you being diplomatic? So that was my answer to that question. There's never been a time where I think I have never been authentic, but I've learned to apply diplomacy to it. So let's move on. Yeah, so we've talked about, what authenticity is and what authenticity is not. So we said authenticity is not, shirking accountability, being arrogant or disregarding others. And it involves recognizing flaws and working on them. It's expressing your ideal self, speaking your truth, being self-aware. And I said being both internally and externally self-aware, and also having the courage to be yourself. So now let's talk about confidence. Confidence. So, there was this survey conducted by Action for Happiness in collaboration with Do Something Different. And they had 5,000 participants, and they asked them to rate themselves on a scale from 1 to 10, how self-accepting they are. And only 5% rated themselves as 10. They rated themselves at a 10 from that scale of 1 to 10. So in talking about confidence, self-acceptance is the foundation. And true confidence starts with accepting ourselves. It involves recognizing your strength, your weakness, or development points, embracing your unique qualities, understanding that you are valuable. There's nobody that is not valuable. And when you fully understand yourself without seeking validation from other people, you trust your abilities and your judgment, then your confidence, you begin to build your confidence. You begin to build your confidence, because a lot of times people seek validation from people. At this stage of my life, I've come to, I've realized that I don't need people's validation. And I'll tell you why shortly. I don't need people's validation. Once I am self-validated, it's okay. It's okay for me. So I have some questions here for you, just for self-reflection, to build true confidence. One of the questions you need to ask yourself in building your confidence is, do I acknowledge my strengths and accomplishments? Because a lot of times we are so hard on ourselves, we're so critical of ourselves that we do not even recognize our strengths, and we do not celebrate our achievements and our accomplishments. We do not self-promote. We live in a world that you have to self-promote. If you do not self-promote, you are doing yourself a disservice, because people who are not doing half of what you're doing, when they begin to shout about what they did or what they've done, it's like, they've done something really, really big, or it's a big deal. Whereas you have done so much more, but you have decided to keep quiet about it. When I moved into this country, that was one of the things that I learned. In the workplace, you see people who are not doing as much as you're doing, and they do something little, they shout about it. And then you just keep quiet, and you think that, no, it's not a big deal. In building your confidence, you need to celebrate your accomplishments. You need to acknowledge your accomplishment first, celebrate it, and self-promote. Because nobody's going to do it for you if you do not promote yourself. So the first question is, do I acknowledge my strengths and accomplishments? The second one is, am I comfortable with my imperfections and see them as part of my unique self? Are you comfortable with your imperfections and you see them as part of your unique self? The next question is, do I trust my decisions and stand by them, even if others disagree? And this brings me to the last question. Am I kind to myself and practice self-compassion? Self-compassion is critical. We need to be kind to ourselves. We need to give ourselves grace. We need to give ourselves grace.
I've got a question.
Okay, please go on.
Are you done with the last one? I don't want us to lose track.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so as always as well, please, our speaker would answer, but if we can all, chip in into this one. The question is self-promotion not pride? Anybody?
Okay.
Self-promotion not pride. Yes, please, Princess. Yes, please. You can unmute yourself.
Okay, I was just trying to show my face. I was walking.
Please do.
How this program today, how it is busy everywhere. Well, thank God. You know what you're saying today is what we actually discussed today, because we had this fundraising at NatWest Bank today in Chatham, and a lot of people were coming in, and this is us that will be 10 years. I'm talking about Hands of Hope now, sorry. I'll be 10 years next year, and it's like you're just speaking to me, because we do so much and we say so little, even though people still think I make so much noise. But compared to what we do, I know that we don't make enough noise, because I know people that do quarter and make 1 million noise. So what you're saying is just like God speaking to me again to say, promote yourself. When I'm a speaker somewhere, I don't say much about who I am, who God has helped me, to become. And, these people that know much will come back to me to say, why are you under promoting yourself? I'm like, well, the Lord will do the rest. But they're like, no, you have to say who you are so that people will understand. They don't know. And that's the truth. And that's what we do. I don't know if it's our culture. I don't know if it's where we come from, and how people have spoken to us that we think everything is pride. If you say, oh, I've got a doctorate degree, it's pride. Oh, I've got a master's degree, it's pride. Okay, who are you then? So I'm just here to encourage people as well with what I've been encouraged with today in NatWest. People are coming and say, oh, you do so much, looking at the banner. Oh, we've checked you online, you do so much, but I don't know about you. I'm like, okay, Lord, you need to announce this, more. So everything you've asked, these questions for me are yes, yes, and yes. But then I don't believe at all that self-promotion. And if you listen to my video, was it last night or night before, when I was talking about discouragement, that some people will even come to you that you're making too much noise. And these are the people not even doing anything. And I had to go online I was discouraged, but then I had to take it to God in prayer, because I don't like words, argument, and all that. I'll just let it slide and leave the person, because that's their opinion. Once I've made my point clear to say, oh, I don't think that is the truth, but if that's what you think, oh, we're making too much noise, we're doing this and doing that anyway. But then I was thinking about me, thinking, okay, I'm strong in the Lord. I believe that to a certain extent. But then I'm thinking about people that speak to me that have not been able to do even one bit of what God has put in their hearts to do because of words that they. And I went online to say, you know what, people, be encouraged, keep doing what God wants you to do, because there's nothing you will do that people will not have their own opinion. But you have to know who is leading you and who is speaking to you and who you're listening to. So please, let us all be encouraged. Self-promotion is not pride, and that's me. And I will continue to promote the work of the Lord to the day of Christ. And that's my own new me to say, I like, say I'm making noise. I will continue this noise till Jesus comes.
Thank you. I love that. I saw you today in Chatham. I can't remember where I saw it. I think it was on was it your Instagram page or something? And I was like, oh, if she had told me I was on Chatham High Street today, I would have popped in, but remember what she said. If she had told me, or if she had promoted it, if I had seen it, I would have popped in. But maybe because she didn't promote it enough. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
maybe
what
she
you
promoted it, maybe it was not enough. Exactly. So I don't feel that self-promotion is pride. If you don't talk about yourself, nobody would. And this is so important for the workplace. It's so key. If you are in a professional environment, in fact, I have a folder that I call bouquet. And I remember that one of the very elderly people that I met way back at the workplace did tell me, keep a bouquet. If people compliment you, drop it in. There's so much that you do that when it comes to your appraisal, then you're like, oh, what did I do last month? Oh, what can I write down? But if you've been keeping a track and you're actually talking, you need to sell yourself. That is just the truth. Nobody will sell you. You need to talk about what you do. If you're not sharing what you do, in fact, the person that would help you is just next to you, and they'll probably not even see you or even recognize you at all. So it's important. I mean, the last trip that I went to Nigeria for, I talk about it at work. People know me with PTB at work. I talk about it every now and then. I share. And then my boss just said to me, you are actually going to Nigeria. Normally we have volunteering days at work. And I wanted to use my early days because our volunteering days are to be used in the UK. And she was like, oh, this thing you're doing is actually volunteering, but even though it's not in the UK, put it in. I would approve it as your volunteering. So it took me in 2 days. So instead of me having 11 days holiday, I was able to gain 9 days holiday and 2 days volunteering. If I didn't speak about it, nobody would know it. If nobody talks about PTB, some people will probably not be here tonight. Do you understand? So it's about the motive of your heart as well while you're talking about these things. If you're truly, truly sharing, it's the gospel. It's good news. Really, seriously. You're sharing good news. You're sharing what God has placed inside of you to the world. And if you're not sharing it, how then would people know? The same way when people say, oh, hide some things. No, don't hide. There's so much negativity out there that we don't need any more added to it. You need to, in fact, my sister was still telling me about this too. Was it 2 weeks ago that, there's so much nonsense out there. Why? Because we allowed it. We're not sharing the good news. We're not sharing what is inside of us. So the nonsense is, out there, and people are actually listening to junk. So in order for people not to listen to junk, you need to shine your light. And how do you shine your light? You shine your light by telling other people what God has placed inside of you to do. You cannot shout it enough. You cannot shout it enough. Let me go to Margaret, please.
Yes, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. We can.
Oh, yeah. So you just took out, you just said what I was about to say, that it all depends on the motive of your sharing, what is in your heart. Are you saying it to spite, some people, like you want to, or you are doing it for competition, but like it's a good news, God has put something in your heart, you want to share for others to see, to hear, and, like the word, pass the baton, you want to pass it on to people so that people can be blessed with it. So that's what I just wanted to say, that it is the motive. And if you know within your heart that is for good purpose, for a good cause, then it's not pride. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So back to our speaker. Yes, please.
Yes, thank you so much for your contributions. They are valuable. And Yemi O said is not pride in the chat. She said is not pride because if you don't praise yourself, who would? Yes, it's not pride. So in addition to your contribution regarding it being pride or not, if self-promotion is pride or not, I happen to be I am remarkable facilitator with Google. And what we do is we facilitate a workshop called I Am Remarkable. And this workshop is about self-promotion. And one thing we do say in this workshop is it is not bragging, because a lot of times people say maybe it's pride or it's bragging. It is not bragging, it is not pride if it is based on facts. As long as it's based on facts, then it is not bragging. And I would also add that you have the permission to brag if it's actually based on facts. And there's what is called brag sheets. Your brag sheet is like having, a sheet or keeping what's the word for it? Um okay, the word will come to me. having that, collection of your accomplishments. You are keeping stock of your accomplishments. And sometimes when you tend to want to doubt yourself, when you want to feel like, oh, maybe other people are doing better than I am doing, you can always go back to your brag sheet and see the things that you have been able to accomplish. Because sometimes we tend to forget. So it's keeping, and also in the place of work, it is essential to keep stock of those our accomplishments, because sometimes we forget, and when the time for review comes, we do not remember. And you might even think, oh, your manager should remember. Your manager might not remember, or they might not even be aware of the things that you've accomplished or you've done on your job. But when you bring out, like they usually say when I was in finance, that figures don't lie. Figures don't lie. So by the time you bring out your facts and figures and you say these are the things I did so day, then you can you can make a strong case for your appraiser, or even to negotiate for a promotion or a pay rise. So it is not bragging and it is not pride if it is based on facts. And even if it is bragging, you have the permission, you have the rights, you have the bragging rights. Because nobody will. You are your biggest cheerleader. Believe me, you are your biggest cheerleader. So, and you must celebrate yourself. You must celebrate yourself. So because of time, let's just keep the questions till the end, and would answer them at the end of the talk. So let's continue. Yes. So we're talking about self-acceptance, and we said it's about accepting your flaws, and your development points and your strengths. And there's one thing about self-awareness, or should I say self acceptance. It is not you cannot interchange authenticity and confidence. So what I mean by that is you can be confident in the wrong ways. Because you're confident does not mean you're authentic. But when you are authentic, you will be automatically confident. I've seen people who are very loud, who are, loud about the very wrong things, no, there is no substance, right? No substance, and they are very loud and confident. So when you're confident, or if you're confident, does not translate to mean that you are authentic. But when you are authentic, you are automatically confident. So by answering the questions, the benefit, what are the benefits of self-discovery? When we accept ourselves, it's about also discovering ourselves, right? So what are the benefits of self-discovery? It's gaining a deeper understanding of oneself, identifying one's unique strengths, skills, and our development points, and accepting ourselves, clarifying values and beliefs, fostering personal and professional growth. So these are the benefits of self-discovery. And how then do you assess your authentic self? Because there's need for a constant assessment of ourselves. How authentic are you? How do you assess if you are authentic? And before that, just to mention a few differences between, the differences between authenticity and confidence and their interconnections. So you can be confident, like I said, without being authentic. Authenticity requires genuine self-expression. And I would also add, I will emphasize on it, that authenticity should not justify bad behavior. And the ways that you can empower yourself to becoming more authentic is, embracing your journey, your ups and your downs, and reward yourself. And also, when you're authentic, the reward are enormous. It's freedom. It's freedom. I am someone that when I say my mind, I, of course, diplomatically, I don't, you will never hear me saying anything behind people's back. I say it to you in front of you. Even if you heard it, you know that I would have said it first to you. And I used to have then a lot of colleagues who go back home, they start thinking about work because of the things they could have said that they did not say. They start thinking about, or how they should have, said no to that person. It's also knowing how to say no. Saying no when you mean no, saying yes when you mean yes. Not saying no or saying yes when you actually mean no. And then going back and you're regretting that, oh, I should have said no. Why did I say yes? It's freedom. You experience freedom when you are authentic. And you live life on your own terms, not because you want to please people, not because you are seeking for validation. So the question for self-reflection in assessing your authentic self is, are you a people pleaser? Are you a people pleaser? Do you find yourself constantly seeking other people's liking? Have you ever downplayed your strength because it's gonna make other people feel better? And this brings me to my first story. When that lady said you need to tone it down, naturally, I am someone who, I'm just someone who's just, I'm just like that. I'm outspoken. I am, I am flashy. I you never see me or you never catch me. I don't, how do I put the word now? I paid so much attention to myself in terms of how I dress, how I look, how I carry myself, how I walk into a room. So when the lady said you need to tone down, I was wondering, how do I cannot tone it down. I'm doing myself a disservice if I have to tone it down. As long as I am not rude, I am not disrespectful, then why should I tone it down? And I have never heard anyone said or anyone talked about me and say, oh, she's quite rude, she's disrespectful. The highest thing I hear people say, oh, she's full of herself. I'm full of myself because you don't know me that well for you to just pass that judgment on me. And back home in Nigeria, when you are someone who minds your business, people see that, oh, it's pride. And that's just my kind of person. I mind my business, I go about my way. But when you come close to me, I am the most friendly and playful person ever. So it's not my, it's not my, although yes, I've talked about internal self-awareness and external self-awareness, but at the same time, I don't owe it to anybody, I don't owe it to them if they have a misconstrued or some misconception about me. That's why it's important to get to know people, to really know them. And people who are close to me, I'm just very down to earth. But because of that, my look and how I carry myself, and people might think, oh. So please do not at any time try to tone anything down. And like I mentioned, if you're not disrespectful of people, if you respect other people, then do not try to make people feel better by toning down your lights. You're doing yourself a disservice. you're doing yourself a disservice. Because a lot of times people struggle within themselves, especially when they feel that somebody is doing what they should be doing. They struggle within themselves, and sometimes it is internal. And yes, and this brings me to, because people ask, oh, how do you manage to, how do you build your confidence? How do you, how do you manage to build your confidence? For me, it's just a thick skin I have developed over time to be comfortable with rejection. Are you comfortable with rejection? So I am someone who doesn't internalize rejection, because I know that people often project their insecurities onto others. And also, if I get people's support, good. If not, well, it's good, because I know people pick and choose whom they support as well. And it has nothing to do with you. And when you make people uncomfortable, people sometimes pretend not to see you. They pretend not to see you a lot of times, and they see you, but they will never show support because it makes them feel uncomfortable, because you are doing what they think you are doing what they should be doing. So it's about, how do you build your confidence? Recognizing your potential and understanding that it might make other people feel intimidated. So unfortunately, and you cannot help that. Stop seeking external validation by seeking for approval from people, because if that approval doesn't come, it's going to diminish your self-worth. But recognize your value, your strengths, your abilities, be confident in who you are. So by this, I've come to that point where, it's about, I'm very persistent. I'm a persistent person, and I'm dedicated. In fact, when people ignore me, that is when I become more persistent. And, I would show it, maybe people might think, oh, maybe if we do not support her, then it's going to make her, to calm down. And no, that is when I will keep going. That is when I am going to keep going, because I know that whether you support me or not, I am confident in who I am as a person. I am confident. So stop seeking validation. Be self-validated. Be self-validated. And one of the first question is, are you a people pleaser? A lot of times, people want validation, and they try to please people. They don't know how to say no. Don't get me wrong. I'm a very caring person. I'm someone who can go extra mile for people. But when I see that it is not reciprocated, then I just adjust accordingly. I adjust accordingly, because of course, a relationship should be, it should be a two-way street, not you giving all the time. But I will never please people. And that's one thing, because a lot of people who are close to me, they know I'm not a people pleaser. So when I say some things, or especially sometimes I've had situations whereby I compliment my colleagues, and like, Wumi complimented me today. Oh, today is a great day, because they know that it is genuine. I will never try to please them and say what is not. But the day I say it, they know that this is coming from my heart. And I will never displease myself to please people. Yes, it's good to go out, out of our way for people to show up, like I said. But showing up should not be at our own detriment. Showing up for people should not be at our own detriment. And remember, no matter what you do, there will be people who do not like you. People will not like you. So it's just a no-go, or is a fruitless journey, a fertile journey, if you think that you want to get everybody to be on your side. You have to be comfortable with rejection. Like there's this saying that no matter how flat you are, maybe you lay on the floor, or flat you are on the floor for people to step on you, they would still complain that you're not flat enough. You cannot please everybody. You cannot please everybody. And we've also talked about self-promotion. Stop downplaying your strengths. Stop downplaying your strength because it's going to make other people feel better. That's their own cup of tea. So the first question is, are you a people pleaser? Do you find yourself constantly seeking others' liking? The next one is, have you ever downplayed your strength? Have you ever downplayed your strength? This is assessing your authentic self. And then the next question is, do you tend to conform to fit in? Do you conform to fit in? There are two types of conformity, actually. Some conformity is because of course, when you work in an organization, there are guidelines, right? There are policies, procedures that you need to conform or abide by. And there's also, conformity. The other part of conformity is because you want to fit in. Because you want to fit in, you want to fit into that box or that mold. So the question is, do you tend to conform to fit in? The next one in assessing your authentic self is, do you speak up when you feel different? Do you speak up when you feel different? So these are the questions, to reflect on in assessing your authentic self. So if you have any questions, like I said, you can drop them in the comment section and I'll answer them at the end. So how then do you cultivate confidence as a woman? How do you cultivate confidence? Because it is important, it's a journey. It's not, like I said, it's not just something that everyone was, depending on your background, people have different backgrounds. Fortunately, some backgrounds, some people, they've been confident right from their childhood. Some grew up in a very critical background, maybe critical parenting, they experienced critical parenting and their parents never, reinforced that good side of them, or, encourage them to embrace that part of themselves. So it's always judgmental. They've always been judgmental, very critical. Yes, it's not your fault, but you can actually, seek help, and you can learn to develop your confidence and enhance your confidence. And this is important, not just in our personal lives, but also in our professional lives. As a coach, I've had to coach a lot of women, and I've witnessed firsthand the impact confidence rather, the impact it has on the lives of women, whether it is asserting themselves in their career, pursuing their dreams. Confidence is key in unlocking our potential as women. It is key. And I have 5 powerful ways to cultivate confidence. So one of the 5 ways is accept yourself as a woman. Accept yourself. Embrace every part of who you are. Know that you are unique. And one thing I just say, your experience is unique to you. There is no second you. You are unique and you are a masterpiece. Embrace every part of who you are, recognizing your strength, accept yourself. And this is the foundation for genuine confidence. And also love yourself. Love yourself. Sometimes people say, oh, you love yourself too much. Yes, you love yourself. You can never love yourself too much as long as you're not selfish. And self-love is not selfishness. The other time I was here with you, we talked about, self-care and, how to, care for yourself more. So it's never too much. And self-love is not arrogance and is not selfishness. Because you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot. Appreciate yourself. Prioritize your self-love and your self-care. And you will become unstoppable in pursuing your goals and your aspirations. Also, learn to speak your truth. Say what you mean with clarity and conviction. Let your voice be heard, even if speak until you are heard. Let your voice be heard. And let what you say align also with your values, right? Not like your values are different, you say something different. It needs to align. And you would see that you would exude confidence. And also stand out. The next one is stand out. Embrace your individuality and dare to stand out from the crowd. Celebrate your quirks and your uniqueness for what makes you who you are. Your scars, they are unique to you. Your experiences, they are unique to you. And it's what makes you truly remarkable. And be authentic. Authenticity it is magnetic. It is magnetic, and when you are yourself unapologetically, people might not like you the first time, but eventually they'll learn to appreciate you. They'll learn to appreciate you. Because why should you fit in when you can stand out? And do you know that when you're authentic, you inspire other people as well? You inspire other people to do same. So the 5 powerful ways to cultivate confidence is accept yourself, love yourself, speak your truth, stand out, and be authentic. Be authentic. So I will just stop here and take some questions. If you have any.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. We do have a question. Let me just remove spotlight first. Okay. We have a question. So someone has just asked, and this is open to everyone. Where will you place inferiority complex in a person?
Mm,
And this is when
okay.
that they are inferior to other people.
Yeah.
If anyone has anything to add to that.
Yes. Yes, inferiority complex, it stems from, like I said, your childhood experiences and your background. And there's what is called healthy form of inferiority. And that is where I talked about comparison. So never compare yourself, to anyone. Always compare you. So that's healthy form of inferiority is when you compare yourself with your ideal self. So your ideal self is your standard at any time. And it's okay for you to feel inferior to your ideal self because we have what you call the real self. So your real self is your current state at the moment. It's where you are at the moment. or what you are at the moment. And your ideal self is who you aspire to be. So that healthy inferiority is feeling inferior to your ideal self and working towards being your ideal self. So in terms of, inferiority, it's about, like I said, those experiences. Everyone has experienced one or two things that is affecting us, because as a psychologist, there's what is called psychodynamics, right? And psychodynamics is our behaviors, what influences our behaviors. And it stems from our childhood. But it's something that it's when we recognize, I don't know the situation, I don't know your background, but when you recognize your background and you are able to identify what could have, caused you feeling this way, then you would then be able to, to deal with it and to work on yourself. It's a journey. It is a journey. And the more you're on the right track and on the right track, you eventually get there gradually. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. I've got hand up. Okay. Auntie Grace, please.
Yes, like the speaker rightly said, I just want to add some few points. One of the things is that in life is full of highs and lows. And we go through things that either changes our emotion. Every emotion has an information. So, and listen to that information. And one of the things I would like to say is that we do, whatever background are you coming from that makes you feel have a kind of complex. One thing I would suggest is that we all make mistakes. We all failures, everything. We've all failed in one area of our lives. And one of the things that we have to do is that once you realize that feeling of complex, then trace the source. Where is that coming from? It's about self-reflection. Reflection is very good. Where is that coming from? Think about where that can, and try to seek help. If you think you are struggling, try to seek help from a professional. And if you think, and it's a work in progress, but learn to embrace whatever you've gone through. We all have our strength. That's why you do a SWOT analysis of who are you. It's about having a kind of self-awareness about who you are. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Your weaknesses could be part of that. You feel kind of not, and then you have using different coping mechanisms. So what coping mechanism are you using to and deal with that coping mechanism? Because some coping mechanisms are not really good and they actually take you backwards. So it's either just embrace your failures, your past, whatever you've gone through, embrace them, because you can use them as a springboard for your own growth and transformation. And when you have a change in perspective, because sometimes you might have got some things through, maybe you faced an attachment problem when you were young, or probably you have a kind of, maybe you've grown, maybe the loss of a mom, and you've been going from one house, they've been going you when you were young, you don't have a stable family, you don't have a stable, your background is not really stable, and that can actually make you, or sometimes where you are living, they shut you down. Whatever reason, try to deal with it and try to seek help if you think that's because it could be a form of trauma response as well, because we respond in different ways. And then you try to, because one of the disadvantages, like she mentioned, the speaker mentioned, or disadvantages of actually not, and that will not enable you to be authentic, is actually you are pleasing other people, you want to conform, you want to conform, you want to fit in, even whether it's good or it's not even good for you. But actually realizing that you have some issues and you're dealing with them, it's about healing and self-discovery. So, and then you will realize how many potentials you've got. And you can also help people once you've healed from that kind of having an inferiority complex. So that's all I want to say. It's good to actually embrace your past, embrace everything and learn from it, let go and move forward. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for sharing, Auntie Grace. Thank you. Back to you.
Yes. Any
Anyone
more
have
questions?
again?
Yes. So I'll just do, a quick recap. We talked about authenticity and we talked about confidence. And we said authenticity is freedom and courage, and confidence is, embracing your strengths, your abilities, and also the misconceptions about authenticity. And said authenticity is not an excuse for bad behavior. No, it is taking accountability for who you are, for your behaviors, and working on yourself to improve yourself. And we also talked about, how to build confidence, true confidence. It's accepting yourself. It's about self-discovery, discovering your strengths, your development points, being internally and externally self-aware. So I would love to drop this final thought to say that, it's a journey. Being authentic is a journey. The more self-aware you are or you become, the more you cultivate and celebrate your true self. And like I talked about, taking stock. So, for example, maybe you don't even know what makes you unique or your strengths. You can, after this event today, after this talk today, get someone close to you. Ask them, please tell me, what do you think are my strong points, my strength, areas of strength, or area of strength, and my development points. And that will guide you. Because sometimes you might even having a blind spot is not just being blind to the negative aspects or negative traits, but also positive traits as well. We might not even recognize that we have, we have this strength in certain areas. So get someone that you trust and that you trust their judgment, and let them give you let them give you an evaluation of yourself, and that will help you to even discover yourself and become more aware of yourself. And yes, it's a journey, and embrace yourself, and it will help you cultivate and celebrate your true self. So yes, and that's it for me from me. I don't know if there are more questions, but yes, that's all for me.
Thank you so very much for sharing your thoughts. Thank you for helping us with authenticity and embracing our true self, and obviously confidence as well. So thank you
Yeah.
to everyone who has shared. Thank you to everyone who has answered. Um, if we have more questions, please do let us know. You can put your hands up if you have a question or if you have something to share as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've come to the end of today's PTB. We just want to say thank you to everyone who has been a part of this. Just hearing some echoing thing going on. Sorry. Yeah, thanking everyone who has been a part of it. This and thank you to everyone who has shared the flyer. Thank you to everyone who has helped us, especially like I said in the month of June, to everyone who has donated for that course. We want to say thank you. I always say there's no PTB without you guys. So it's because of you guys. That's why we're here. Next month we're looking into another topic. This one is going to be a health one. Look out for it. Share to somebody There's always a need. I always say, even if you know the topic very well, I always say it's good to always come and disseminate information and empower somebody else. But also in that as well, you're empowering yourself, because that knowledge you learn is not just for you, it's always for somebody else. There's somebody in your circle who would need this knowledge that you will just gain tonight. So go on, continue to be your authentic self. Go on, continue to exude that confidence. Do not dim your light for other people. And always, obviously, like we said, watch the motive why you do things. It's always in the motive, but continue to shine your light. There's just so much negativity out there that you want to, you don't want to hide. You want to be a true light and keep shining your light. Somebody needs that light. Somebody that you need to meet on the way is waiting for you. If you don't talk about what you do, they wouldn't meet you. That's the way I see life. So everything you need is already there. You just need to speak. You need to continue to talk. You need to continue to let other people see you. And obviously continue to show love as well. Love is very paramount. Continue to show love. So thank you, everyone. Have a very, very good evening and continue to be your authentic self. Have a good night and God bless. Bye-bye.
God bless
Thank
you,
you.
sis. Thank you. Thank you very
Bye.
much.
Yes,
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Pray Momola. I see you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I see the hearts. Thank you. Oh, someone's just trying to join. Done. Thank you, Princess. Thank you, Sister Lanre. Thank you, Auntie Grace. Thank you, Baroness B. Thank you, Ma. God bless you. Thank you, Yemi. Thank you, Antinka. Thank you, Elizabeth. I think that's Funke, if I'm sure. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Just trying to. Thank you, Joy. Thank you, sis. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let's remove. And thank you, Auntie Larry, as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you. Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, for some reason, I cannot remove Auntie Larry. Okay, I know why. Let me remove her now. Okay, perfect. I can. All right, sis. Thank you.
Yeah.